All right, here it is, a 14-foot aluminum V-hull boat. Just bought it. It has a 73 Evinrude motor on the back. It's a 2-stroke, 2-cylinder motor. Definitely needs some work. This is gonna be my next project. The steering works, it's hooked up, but all those pulleys, these pulleys are getting real old and they're just made of plastic. They're falling apart. The cables are also pretty loose, so I'm probably gonna replace all the pulleys and the cables. But I want new decking, seats in here. I want this steering wheel higher. It's really low. Probably put a seat up here. And the other thing is that it definitely needs work to the trailer. It was a homemade trailer and it also sits like crooked on the trailer. So I'm gonna look at that, figure all that out. But first I need to put it in the garage to figure out what needs to be done. And I need to clear space in the garage. So we'll get this thing in there and get going on it. Well, I think that's supposed to be attached. Well, that's good to know. All right, first things first, this jack is on like way loose. So I'm gonna lift the trailer up with some blocks and then tighten this so it's not as loose as it is, because it's really bad. Right now you can't tell because there's weight on it, but it's really not too tight at all. So let's start with that. All right, so it looks like the bottom bolts are slanted up and then the top bolts are slanted down. So I think these are in the wrong holes. So I'm gonna put these bolts through these holes, see if that'll level out and get a better clamp on it. That's much better. The bolts are straight. Now all I have to do is tighten them and that'll hold a lot better than it was before. All right, well, I definitely want to get this figured out because I do not want something to go wrong and then this chain not to be attached at all. I'm gonna try and put it back in this old bolt. That's where it is on the other one. It looks like maybe it fell before and that's why that happened. I don't know if I dare use this again or if I should try and stretch this one out and try and put it on there, but we'll see. All right, I'm trying to figure this bolt out and I just looked down at this nut and that bolt holding the tire on is barely in there. So let's fix that real fast. Look at that. Barely. All right, we just pulled the wheel off. Wheel looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna put some washers in there so it doesn't bind up when it's too tight. I have 4 washers, so I'm gonna put 2 on either side to help with keep it from binding up too much. So let's do that. I just lightly tapped this rope and it just fell off. It's just falling apart. Look at that. Old nylon. I guess maybe at some point this would have pulled the boat onto here, but I don't know how with their little setup here. So it's all gonna be fixed. We're gonna fix all of it. All right, tires on. It's much better now. It's in the hard plastic that holds the bolt now. I was able to put 1 washer on each side. 2 was too much, so I got that in there and it still moves freely to how I like it. And jack's done, so let's keep working on these chains. Well, that did not go as planned. We broke the bolt. Probably a very old bolt. It's probably better it broke here actually than not if it fell off my hitch and onto the road. So definitely gonna be switching this out for a nice brand new one. Yeah, so we'll run a big R at some point and grab another bolt, probably some new nuts and some new washers, and probably look for a new chain. All right, next, the motor did not run too well when I went to buy it. It ran for like 2 seconds and then died. So I'm probably gonna hook my car battery up to it. Oh, I need plugs. Yeah, we're gonna need some battery connectors and a battery. I'm gonna do electric start, but I'll try and pull start it to get it running a little bit better. Probably just stick this in a trash can and fill it with water a little bit and see if it'll run and see if we can get it running good. If I need to order parts, I'd rather do that now than later. So hopefully we can get this running nice and starting easy and go from there. All right, let's pull this off. And look at that, it's been raining all day. And this boat, I just bought this today. So this boat filled up and it's full of water. It's getting all over the garage. I had to put the plug in. So once I'm done with this, I'll pull it out and drain it all. All right, filling up the bucket now with water. I don't have those snorkel clamps that cover the intake. So filling this up with water and then we'll try and fire it up and see if it'll run. All right, bucket's about full. Shut that off. Okay, let's see if we can get this to run. See if we can hook this up. It's just not enough battery. There we go. Come on. Let's kill that choke. The choke is broken. Wow. So real fast. There it is. Choke's off. Let's try that. It runs good. Sounds like it's missing quite a bit, but at least it runs good, and we'll figure that miss out, figure out what's wrong with that. But got to hear it run, so I'm happy. All right, now that we heard the motor run, I'm happy with that, but I do want to fix the misfire, and I don't know why the pull start isn't working. So I want to figure that out next. I'm gonna drain all this water out, and then I want to figure out all of the decking. So we'll pull all of this off, and then we'll probably pull off the steering wheel, the gear select, and all of the cables for steering and the gear select, and start figuring out what we need and start getting that stuff here and start replacing everything. But that is what I'm gonna do next.